The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
There is a family near Salzburg that needs a governess until September.
Until September?
To take care of 7 children.
7 children?
Come out of that water at once!
Do you like children, Maria?
Well, yes, but I'm 7.
I will tell Captain von Trapp to expect you tomorrow.
Captain?
A retired officer of the Imperial Navy, a fine man and a brave one.
Tell me, do you think the captain would get me some more material if I asked him?
How many dresses does a governess need?
No, not for me, for the children. I want to make them some play clothes.
The Von Trapp children don't play. They march.
But they're children!
Yes, and I'm their father. Good night.
Do you mean to tell me that my children have been roaming about Salzburg dressed up in nothing but some old drapes?
Mm-hmm. And having a marvelous time.
Fräulein, were you this much trouble at the Abbey?
Oh, much more so.
Why did they send you back to us?
They didn't send me back, Mother. I left.
Is it true Fräulein Maria isn't coming back?
I can't face him again.
There's nothing more irresistible to a man than a woman who's in love with him.
In love with him.
Of course. But what makes it so nice is he thinks he's in love with you.
Oh, there were times when we would look at each other. Oh, Mother, I could hardly breathe.
Are you in love with him?
I've never felt that way before.
Maria, you have to live the life you were born to live.
And somewhere out there is a young lady who I think will never be a nun.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo, and today I'm joined by my regular co-host,
Kyle in the house.
and also all the way on the other side of the country, joining us for the second time on the podcast is
Cristine Collier. Hi there.
Cristine Collier. She's one of them Californians.
California.
So we won't hold that against you too much on this
It's
podcast.
It's like, I own a country, yes.
So, Cristine had contacted me and said, "Hey, have you guys ever covered The Sound of Music?" And no, we haven't. And I don't know if Kyle's ever seen this movie before now. And I've only had caught bits and pieces of it because you can't go very long flipping through the TV growing up without seeing this somewhere on the TV, you know, with some lady dancing on the side of a hill, singing at the top of her lungs or stuff like that. So, but before we start diving into The Sound of Music, I have a question for you two. Well, actually, I have 2 questions. Number 1, Kyle, what is your favorite musical of all time?
Oh, favorite musical of all time. Oh, man, that's a good question. That is a good question. Let's pull that up real quick because I had to look at the list. There's a lot of bad musicals out there. Probably the Disney.
Yeah, there is.
I don't know. It might be Mulan. I don't know.
Did you say Mulan? We're not counting. We're not counting cartoons.
Disney
Kyle.
movie. They have like 15 music numbers.
No cartoons.
No cartoons. Then that loses like 2/3 of musicals, Jimbo.
No, it's just you haven't seen any musicals. That's what that says.
I have seen plenty of musicals.
Dude, Rodgers and Hammersteins that did this movie did probably, I don't know how many, 12 at least that I know of.
So the most recent one I saw was like the new the Cyrano movie of Peter Dinklage, which is kind of amazing. It might be my favorite right now. That was pretty excellent. Yeah.
We'll come back to you. Let's move on to Cristine, because I'm sure she can say what her favorite music.
Oh gosh, I can think of two, and they're very different. In the 80s, I can remember having a great time going to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's what I got to pick right there. That's it's really the best, isn't it? Yeah.
that I had a great time bringing popcorn, newspapers, just playing along.
Were you one of the ones that when they said toast, you would throw your toast and all that?
Oh yeah, I mean, you had to bring the props. It was a great time doing that, and I also enjoyed Grease. So.
Oh, nice.
Two very different, divergent musicals.
Well, I have my two. Since you got two, I'll give you my two. My number one is probably Phantom of the Opera. Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Opera. I've seen it on Broadway twice. And then they came out with that movie. Not quite as good as the Broadway production, but I still liked it. And probably number two is I Love Grease 2. Not TOO, but the number two. Michelle Pfeiffer and Maxwell Caulfield. I just think it kind of, it went from like the 70s era of high school to like the 80s era of high school, I guess you would say. It has some catchy tunes in there too. But I mean, I like musicals anyway. So, I mean, I've seen several of them. I love Mary Poppins, which starred Julie Andrews. We all know how I feel.
You love Julie Andrews. Yeah.
I love Mary Poppins. I mean, I wanted her to be my babysitter growing up. I had a biggest crush on her of anybody.
Fair.
So Kyle,
I got mine now for the old and classic. Not necessarily old, but classic is My Fair Lady. I'm gonna go with that one. Audrey Hepburn, Rex Harrison, and for one that's probably more close to like a personal favorite of mine is The Producers, the Mel Brooks musical.
I mean, The King and I. It's good too. Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella that they did was good. So several of them are really good. So there's that. And my second question for you two is we'll start with Kyle because this is gonna be funny. Kyle, what is your favorite song from The Sound of Music?
From The Sound of Music? Probably Good Night. That one being the naptime song when they all are at the party and they're all going to go to bed. I forget the name. I don't know the name of any of the songs because I'm bad. But that's definitely my favorite of the series. Yeah.
I figured when we end this, I'll have Cristine start singing that so long, and then we'll pass it to Kyle. Cristine,
I like Do Re Mi.
Do Re Mi. I think I'm going to have to go with Edelweiss. I think it's a very powerful movie or song that played into the movie. So there you have it. I thought Kyle would go 16 going on 17 as his favorite when they're dancing in the gazebo.
Because I'm young. That's why.
So Kyle, let's go ahead and take away The Sound of Music.
Okay, The Sound of Music. Here we go. Release date April 1st, 1965 for the United States release. Quick little brief little synopsis of that, but a young novice nun is sent by her convent in the 1930s to Austria to become the governess to 7 children and their widowed naval officer. Written by Robert Wise. Robert Wise, acclaimed director, of course, of many amazing movies such as the original West Side Story and other films like the Andromeda Strain, Star Trek Motion Picture, the first one, and pretty much one of those sub-acclaimed favorite movies of all time. But the Day the Earth Stood Still for me. So incredible director there, Robert Wise. For the writing credits, we have George Hurtelack with partial use of the ideas from the original stage musical awarded to Howard Lindsay and Russell Krauss for the stage musical being adapted to screen, obviously. Then we're going to go to some of the technical details of the film. Got to find the link right there where I put it. Technical details. This movie is 2 hours and 52 minutes long. I was really shocked by the length of it too, because I had watched it actually as a child, but I didn't remember how long it was, and seeing like a 3-hour runtime was like, oh my gosh. Aspect ratio is 2.2 by 1, which is a pretty wide angle lens overall speaking, especially for the time and era. This is a color film, which pretty impressive for 1965. A lot of films still available in black and white for sure. So, and great visual company event going on there. And then some of the more technical details here. Where did I put them? Gotta find them real quick. Camera uses were the Bell & Howell 2709, the Mitchell BFC, and the Modern Cinema Systems for the MCS 70. Film length for the Italy cut, and the Sweden cuts are a little bit different, but the film length is 4,700 meters. So incredible for a long film length there. And let's see here. Let's see what stuff I also covered here. And I move on to the awards section of The Sound of Music. For the Oscars in 1966, it won the awards for Best Picture, Best Director awarded to Robert Wise. Both awards awarded to Robert Wise. Best Sound awarded to James Corcoran and Fred Hines. Best Film Editing awarded to William Reynolds. And Best Music, Scoring of Music, or Adaptation or Treatment awarded to Irwin Coastal. It was also a nominee for Best Actress for Julie Andrews' performance, Best Actress in Supporting Role for Peggy Wood's performance, Best Cinematographer for Ted D. McCord, and Best Art Direction, Set Direction for Color Films, which awarded to nominees for Boris Levin, Walter M. Scott, and Ruby R. Levitt. Also a nominee for Best Costume Design for a color film to Dorothy Jenkins. Next up, in 1966, it was nominated for a BAFTA for Best British Actress to Julie Andrews. And the America Cinema Editors Awards in 1966, it won the Best Edited Feature Film awarded to William Reynolds. Then in the David D. Donatello Awards of 1966, it won the Best Foreign Actress Awards awarded to Julia Andrews. Next up, in the Directors Guild of America USA Awards, it won the Outstanding Directorial Achievement in Motion Picture awarded to Robert Wise and Assistant Director Ridgway Callow. Next up, we have the Golden Globes, where it won the Best Motion Picture and Best Actress awarded to Gillian Andrews, and it was nominated for Best Director and Best Supporting Actress for Peggy Wood's performance. Next up, for the 2010, very recent actually, it was a nominee for the Golden Trailer Awards for the Most Innovative Advertising for a Brand and Product, awarded to 20th Century Fox for, I believe, a trailer they made for the film. So that's a little thing there. I might dig into that later in the podcast. And next up, we have the Laurel Awards, where in 1966 it won the General Entertainment and Musical Performance for a Female Performance, awarded to Julia Andrews. Next up, in the National Board of Reviews, it won the Top 10 Films of the Year in 1966. In 2001, it was added to the United States National Film Registry. Incredible honor there. Next up, for the New York Film Critics Awards in 1965, it won the Best Actress Award for Julie Andrews. I'm sorry, it was a nominee, not a win. Nominee, though. 1997, it was a winner of the Online Film and Television Association's Hall of Fame. So got to enter that category, or that prestigious collection of film Hall of Fame there. Then in 1966, for the Photoplay Awards, it won a gold medal. And then the Satellite Awards in 2006, it won the Best Classic DVD Preservation Decision for the adaptation of the transfer to a DVD format. Now I believe it's already been transferred to Blu-ray, and I believe there's a later coming 4K treatment done soon enough. And also in the Writers Guild of America in USA, it was the winner for the Best Written American Musical of the Year, awarded to Ernest Lehman. That covers the awards of The Sound of Music. Quick little digest on the budget of the film. The budget of the film was $8.2 million in 1965. Adjusting for inflation, that'd be about $77.9 million today. So roughly about a 9x increase of actual inflation there. So big time money there. And then gross worldwide, which is just an insane number that I'm sure is only bigger now as the years go on. But it made a $159.3 million at box office over its, I guess, probably its whole year of release. And just for inflation, that'd be about $1.5 billion today. Billion with a B, which is absolutely insane, gargantuan number for sure. So big money there. So you have conflation, awards, technical details right there. I'm going to pass on to Cristine, and she's going to take over the cast notes for me. She got that for me.
Yes, I've got quite a few cast notes.
Right.
I can go over the children first if you want.
Sure.
It's your podcast. We're just guests on it.
Yeah.
So, okay, I did the kids first. So I'll do the kids first. Okay, so Charmaine, I think that's how you pronounce it. Charmaine Carr her original last name is Farnan, but the director wanted her to have a shorter last name, I guess. So he gave her a choice of names, and she chose Carr. So she played Liesel von Trapp, the eldest. She was born on December 27th, 1942. And she died, unfortunately, fairly young in September of 2016. And this is sad, complications related to frontotemporal dementia, which we know now quite a bit about because
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis just got diagnosed with it. Yeah, so very sad. She was married from 1967 to 1991 to a man named Jay Brent. She's got 2 surviving children. She was the second child of vaudeville actress Rita Oman and a musician, Brian Farnan. She has 2 sisters. They're both actresses. And she was actually in college studying speech therapy and philosophy and working for a doctor when her mom actually arranged for her to audition for the role. So she was not in any shape, way, or form an actress or looking to be an actress. And I think one of her classmates actually submitted her picture to the director. So it was just kind of an odd thing. And she actually beat out quite a few other people who were actively auditioning for the role. So it was just kind of a chance thing that she got the role. And then during filming, during the dance scene where she's dancing with Rolf, the guy who's the delivery in the gazebo, the costumers forgot to put non-slip pads on her shoes. And so she actually slid through a window of the gazebo, and she had to, as she said, complete the scene in agony. So that's just a little thing there. And that really, I don't think she acted after that much. She
the only film credit I see here is on the ABC Stage 67 in 1966, where she only had 1 episode. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at her filmography here. The Sound of Music, 1965, and then in 1966, Evening Primrose. So maybe that's what you're referring to. Yeah.
I believe
so. After that, she owned an interior design firm called Charmaine Carr Designs in Encino. She wrote a couple books, Forever Liesel and Letters to Liesel. In October 2010, there was Oprah Winfrey did a show to celebrate the film's 45th anniversary, which quite a few of the former the actors were on. And that's pretty much it.
Well, she also
I got something else.
She also did a mock sweet shop, like chocolate shop for Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did she?
She did. It's in the notes somewhere. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Oh, okay.
Too.
Cool. Okay. So that was her. Let's see. Then I've got Dwayne Chase. He was Kirk Von Trapp. He was born in 1950, so he's still alive and he's married. And that was the only acting job he did. He's got 1 spouse. He's an American software engineer. He had 1 small role in Follow Me Boys in 1966. We also played Danny Matthews in The Big Valley for 1 episode. And he graduated from Rolling Hills High School in Rolling Hills, California. Oh, and this is interesting. He joined the United States Forest Service in Santa Barbara, which is about an hour's drive. An hour's drive south from me in 1969.
Does he still live out that way?
No. He lives in Washington. And he works in wildlife and forestry. And he's married. His wife is an RN who was born in Germany. And he actually, he has an MA in geology from the University of Alabama. And let's see, Nicholas Hammond, he played Friedrich von Trapp, the elder of the 2 boys. And he was born in May 1950 in Washington, D.C. He had 2 spouses. One he divorced in 1984. The other one he married in 1987, and he's been with her to the present. Oh, and this guy, he's actually best known for his role as Peter Parker Spider-Man in the 1970s TV series The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
You ever seen those, Kyle?
No.
They are fantastic.
Yeah. So he actually, let's see, I think for my notes, I think he lives in, let's see, Australia now. Yeah, after being cast as yachtsman Dennis Conner in the 1986 Australian TV miniseries The Challenge, about the 1983 America's Cup Challenge, he liked the country so much that he decided to stay. He later became an Australian citizen. Let's see. Yeah, he moved to Australia in the mid-'80s, and he now lives in Sydney with actress Robin Nevin. But he remains close with his Sound of Music siblings.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and I've seen 90 film credits to his name right there. He was in Stealth.
He's
on a Time in Hollywood. Crocodile Dundee in Los
huge.
Angeles. Yeah. So
he was on. He guest starred in The Love Boat, Magnum P.I., Murder, She Wrote. Played recurring roles on Falcon Crest and Dallas. He's. Let's see. He also spent several seasons in daytime soap operas such as General Hospital, many TV shows of the 70s. He's also in one episode of the TV adaptation of Logan's Run with Heather Menzies, who also played one of the kids. Yeah, he's actor all the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'll do Heather Menzies. She played Louisa von Trapp, the third oldest daughter. Unfortunately, she's passed away too. She was born in 1949. She passed away in 2017. She was married twice. Her last husband was Robert Ulrich. Am I saying that right?
Ulrich.
Or Ulrich. Ulrich, yeah. He died in 2002. Let's see. She first appeared in TV in 1964 on the TV series The Farmer's Daughter. Then she was cast in The Sound of Music. She had no prior acting experience. She sang So Long, Farewell, and The Lonely Goat Herd in the film. After I just watched it, just finished a couple hours, and I don't necessarily remember that. I don't know. Her TV credits, Alias, Smith and Jones, TJ Hooker, Dragnet, Room 222, Bonanza, Marcus Welby, MD, and The Bob Newhart Show. Here we go. She starred as Jessica Six in the short-lived TV series Logan's Run. She also appeared in Hawaii, How Sweet It Is, Hail Hero, Piranha and Endangered Species. Oh, and this is interesting. She's also featured in Playboy magazine in 1973 during a pictorial titled Tender Trapp, a reference to her Sound of Music role.
Huh.
Yeah. She was also
Kyle's
cast.
already on Amazon. Kyle's on eBay trying to order it right now.
Yeah. She was also cast in 4 TV films, The Keegans, James Dean, Tail Gunner Joe, and Captain America in 1979.
Another classic Marvel start.
Yeah. After her husband's death in 2002, she established the Robert Urich Foundation and devoted most of her time in her later years to the organization, which raises money for cancer research and support for cancer patients. Oh, here's how she passed away. She was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer in November of 2017 and died from that on December 24th in 2017.
Man, that went really quick, huh?
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Kim Carath. I think this was the youngest one, Greta.
Greta, yeah.
Or Gretel von Trapp, yeah. So she was born in Los Angeles in 1985. She was married twice. One spouse, Philippe Leichelbeck, I'm not sure, from 1985 to 2005. Her last husband, Jeff Apple, she married him in 2016. She's got one child. She started acting at the age of 4 in Spencer's Mountain, 1963, with Henry Fonda and Veronica Cartwright. Also in 1963, she was in The Thrill of It All with Doris Day and James Garner. In 1964, she was in Good Neighbor Sam with Jack Lemmon, but best remembered for her role as the youngest Von Trapp Gretel. She graduated from USC with a degree in humanities and moved to Paris. That's where she met Philippe. They had a son in 1991. Oh, she was also a model. She modeled too. Oh, and this is an interesting thing. She nearly drowned in the boat scene. You found that out too, Jim?
Yeah, it was supposed to be when the boat tipped that she was supposed to fall to the side where Julie Andrews was, because Julie Andrews was supposed to, because she couldn't swim, she was supposed to rescue her. But when they filmed it, she flipped to the other side, and Julie Andrews was on the other side. So I've got in the notes some of the one of the girls, Louisa, I think, grabbed her and made sure, you know what I mean. But she said that when she came out of the water, that she gulped so much water that she threw up all over one of the other girls.
Oh man, yeah. So I couldn't find any film roles for her after 1981, which was Midnight Offerings. So I don't know. She lives in Greenwich, Connecticut now. And like I said, she had the one son. So that's all I could find on her. And then let's see. Debbie Turner has Marta Van Trapp. She was born in Arcadia, California in 1964. So she's still around. After the film's debut, she left the industry and returned to school. So in 1985, she relocated to Chanhassen, Minnesota, where she raised 4 daughters with her husband, Rick, not active in the film industry. She's close with her co-stars, and she was also on the Oprah Winfrey Show for the 45th anniversary show of The Sound of Music. Oh, and I have here, she was one of 3 float judges for the 2011 Tournament of Roses parade. So that's all I've got on her. And then Angela Cartwright, she played Brigitte Von Trapp. She's from England. She was born in Cheshire in 1952. She's an actress and photographer. Her spouse is Steve Goulion. She got married in 1976. She's got 2 children. She made her first film appearance at age 3 in Somebody Up There Likes Me in 1956. Oh, and she was in the Danny Thomas Show for 7 seasons, from 57 to 64. Oh, and she played Penny Robinson in Lost in Space.
Lost in Space, yep.
Yeah, and she made appearances in My 3 Sons, Adam 12, and The Love Boat. And she made a cameo appearance as reporter number 2 in the 1998 Lost in Space film, and has Dr. Smith's mother in the 3rd episode of the 2nd season of the 2018 Netflix Reimagined Lost in Space series. Did you watch that?
I watched the first couple of episodes of that. Wasn't bad.
Yeah, I watched that. I actually enjoyed that. So I think I just went over all the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, so that's all the kids. Okay, so let me go over the rest of this. The rest of the cast, okay. Of course, Julie Andrews, 87 years old, was born in 1935. Now, I looked at 2 different websites. One said she had 3 children. One said she had 5. I'm not sure which is accurate. It looks like she's been married. Pardon?
As long as they know, that's important.
I don't know. Looks like she's been married twice. Blake Edwards and Tony Walton. I don't think she's currently married. She's won 6 Golden Globes, 2 Emmys, 2 British Academy Film Awards, 3 Grammys, and 1 Academy Award.
Oh, wow. Incredible.
Yeah. In 1979, she received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She was made a Disney legend in 1991 for her work on Mary Poppins. She received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Screen Actors Guild in 2007. I know there's a ton more on her, but I only had an hour to put this together, so.
No problem.
Christopher Plummer, he played Baron Von Trapp. He was born in 1929. He died in February of 2021. I guess he had a fall and hit his head and passed away. And I think, from what I remember, he was preparing for another role or something, but he passed away. He was married 3 times. He was I think he was born in Canada, right? Canadian film, television, and film actor. And I think from what I was reading, he actually was not thrilled with his role.
He hated
right? He considered it. Yeah, he hated it. Yeah, because he considered himself like a serious film actor. And this was kind of like below his. Yeah, he's like,
Prestige.
It wasn't serious enough for him. Yeah. So on stage, his most notable roles were that of Cyrano de Bergerac. Bergerac, am I pronouncing that right?
Yep. Bergerac, yep.
In Cyrano in 1974, has John Barrymore. In Barrymore, he won the Tony Award for Best Actor in a play for these two roles. He also appeared in Waterloo, 1970, The Man Who Would Be King, 1975, The Insider, 1999, has Leo Tolstoy in The Last Station. In 2009, has Arthur Case in Inside Man in 2006. And recently, back in 2017 as J. Paul Getty in All the Money in the World. Remember that movie?
Nope.
It was for television. It was about the kidnapping. Remember that guy who got his ear cut off?
Which kidnapping?
I
look it up real quick.
The Lindbergh baby?
No.
Yeah.
It was the younger Getty who got kidnapped in the 70s or something.
Yeah, John Paul Getty III, in addition to devoted marriage against his billionaire grandfather, John Paul Getty, to pay the ransom. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
It was good.
Either, yeah. I loved him in Knives Out in 2019. That was like one of his final films. Like I think it was the third to last final film that he was in, or second to last.
I don't have that on here.
2019. Yeah.
I don't have that on here. I just have that he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for Mike Mills' film Beginners in 2010. That's the last thing I have on him. And then I've got Eleanor Parker has The Baroness. She was born in 1922, died in 2013. She was married 4 times. She was nominated for 3 Academy Awards. And her best known role was in The Sound of Music. She was also honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Then I've got Peggy Wood as Mother Abbess. She was born in 1892.
Wow.
Yeah, passed away in 1978.
80s.
And for her, I've got best remembered for her performance as a title character in the CBS television series Mama from 1949 to 1957.
176 episodes. Sorry, that's incredible. I'm looking at it right now, too.
Oh, okay. For Mama?
Yeah, for Mama. 176 episodes as Mama.
Dang.
Mama Hanson, actually. Wow.
That's crazy.
That's
I guess that's why
right
she'd be
there.
best remembered for that. Yeah. Also, her starring role has Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, in the story of Ruth from 1960. And this is interesting. Her final screen appearance was as Mother Abbess in The Sound of Music.
Yep.
For which she got an Academy Award nomination and a Golden Globe Award. Is what I've got in my notes.
I think I went through that. I went through that one on the board.
Yeah, you got there. Okay.
Yep.
And then Daniel Truhit has Rolf Gruber.
Rolf.
I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his last name right. He was born in 1943. American actor. He's got 3 kids. As far as I know, he doesn't act anymore. He's best known for Sound of Music and Stand in the Gap. I'm not sure what that is. When he was 15, he received a scholarship to the Sacramento Ballet. He joined the Marines in 1969. And he also appeared as Captain Von Trapp in a 1993 theater production, The Sound of Music, in Concord, North Carolina. He also appeared in a gala concert performance of The Sound of Music at New York's Carnegie Hall as Baron Elberfeld, a guest at a party. And then the last one I was able to look up before we started this was Richard Hayden as Max Detweiler. And he was born in 1905 and passed away from a heart attack in April of 1985. And this guy had a huge career. He was a British-American comedy actor, and some of his better-known roles include Professor Audley in Balls of Fire in 1941, Roger in No Time for Love, 1943, Thomas Rogers in And Then There Were None, 1945, Emperor Franz Joseph in The Emperor Waltz, 1948, The Caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, 1951, Baron Popoff in The Merry Widow, 1952, William Brown in Mutiny on the Bounty, 1962. And Jim, you probably know this one. In the 1960 The Twilight Zone episode, A Thing About Machines.
Yep.
He portrayed Mr. Bartlett Finchley.
Yep. We've already come to the Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you did. I listened to that. Yeah.
80Z will be happy to hear that one.
Mm-hmm. He never married or had children. He was briefly engaged to an actress named Maria Riva in 1943. He eschewed the Hollywood lifestyle. He was into gardening and horticulture.
Nice.
So I think he was probably gay. That's what it said. That's what it said in the notes.
Not married, no children is definitely like, for his time period, that's certainly the application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was, and it said that he was probably gay in the notes.
Speculated.
So, yeah.
Homosexual.
Yeah. And and to me, that's so sad that back then people couldn't be out and live their lives. It's just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it was back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's as far as I got.
The cast list there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I believe we're ready to move on to Jimbo and we start going through some trivia stuff. And
all right, guys, sit back and relax. I got 26 pages of notes here. But I whittled it down. Kyle, we have lost Kyle. He just fell out of his chair. I whittled it down. Hey, I started printing off, and the printer just kept going.
I'm going to grab a cup of coffee and sit down, and we'll get to work.
So here we go. And you guys can comment as we go along. You know the routine. But Robert Wise, the director, considered Yul Brynner for the role of Captain Von Trapp. If you remember, Yul Brynner was in the lead role of The King and I, and he lobbied heavily to play this role. So a good actor. He's in Magnificent Seven. So very, very manly. The first musical number in this movie was the final sequence shot in Europe before the cast and crew returned to Los Angeles, California. It was filmed in late June and early July of 1964. Despite the warm and sunny appearance, Julie Andrews notes that she was freezing running up that mountain over and over again. And producer and director Robert Wise has said that he had to climb one of the trees nearby to be able to overview the helicopter shoot without getting into the picture. So, can you imagine? No, we're going to need you to come back up the mountain. Kyle, we're going to need you to walk back up this mountain again and again and again. No good. And again.
Well, not only that, I mean, the film coming out in like the 1965, so he would have been like 42 climbing a tree right then and there. Just 42 climbing a mountain, then climbing a tree just to get up there and film a shot.
No, but I'm talking about Julie Andrews. If they had to start over, she had to go back down the mountain and climb, keep running up and down the mountain.
Okay, that's the same. I thought you were talking about Robert Wise having to climb up the mountain.
Still climbing a tree. I'm 45 and I don't know if I could climb a tree.
Exactly. Like mid-40s and just like, no, clean trying days.
She also said that when she tried to dig her heels into the ground to brace herself, but on every take she was knocked over by the powerful helicopter downdraft. I know at work, Kyle, I'd have to go out on my forklift and get some helicopter parts in. The helicopter comes in, I'm on my forklift, and you should see all the dust and everything kicks up, and it gets real cold. So
everything goes everywhere.
Yeah. So after more than a dozen takes, she attempted to hand signal to Robert Wise to have the helicopter make a wider pass, but the response she got was a thumbs up.
Oh, God.
He was satisfied with the shot. I was like, okay.
No, we're done. Not doing this again.
16 going on 17 was shot in that gazebo, was one of the last to be done. On the first take, Charmaine Carr, who played Liesl, slipped while leaping across a bench and fell through a pane of glass, which Cristine talked about. Although she was not badly injured, her ankle was hurt, and the scene was later shot with her leg wrapped in makeup covering the bandages, which it was still in some of the releases on VHS early on, and then they went back and re-edited it out, and then so now people think that it didn't really happen. Didn't really happen. She just made up the story. She's like, no, it really happened, because then they put it back in the newer version or whatever. So there is a cameo from the actual Maria von Trapp. She is portraying the elder of the two women in Austrian peasant garb who are in the background as Julie Andrews walks through a brick archway during I Have Confidence. So she actually is in the movie. So you can actually go visit the gazebo that was used for 16 going on 17, and Something Good scenes can still be visited in the Salzburg area on Sound of Music tours. However, the public had to be excluded from the interior because movie fans who were considerably older than 16 going on 17 were injuring themselves while trying to dance along the seats. The gazebo in Austria was only used for exterior shots. The actual dance by Sharman Carr and Daniel Truhite was filmed on a replica of the gazebo's interior on a soundstage at 20th Century Fox in Los Angeles, California, as were the shots of Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer. Debbie Turner, who played Marta, she had many loose teeth during this film. When they fell out, they were replaced with false teeth.
Oh, wow.
What dread in your heart, then? Just a young child. I lost a tooth. And
there you go.
Guy, oh God, I got to make a tooth for this little girl.
You know how you always use your front teeth. You know what I mean?
And also, they should have just kept it, because just imagine the trivia buffs, 20 years later, just watching the film shot. You see in this shot, she's missing a tooth on her left side, and just going back and forth on that.
Yeah.
That's the real trivia.
You see it grow it in.
The Easter eggs they didn't get to have.
Like all these film historians were just obsessed with it for 50 years.
All right, Kyle, here's one section of candidates for the role of Captain Von Trapp. Can you see these people as playing them? Number 1, Richard Burton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
No.
Bing Crosby.
God, you just can't do that.
What about Bing?
At least Bing Crosby can. Yeah, he can sing.
And he can dance. Maximilian Schell, who was a native Austrian. And Julie Andrews, Broadway leading man Rex Harrison. The Broadway musical My Fair Lady would remain the only work in which Andrews and Harrison would act together on Broadway, that is. Amongst kids who auditioned to play one of the Von Trapp children were Kurt Russell, Richard Dreyfuss, Veronica Cartwright, and the 4 eldest Osmond brothers, Alan Osmond, Jay Osmond, Merrill Osmond, and Wayne Osmond. Dreyfuss couldn't dance, they say.
Oh, wow.
That's hilarious.
Here's where Gretel, we talked about her falling off the thing. But so on the second tape, that's when the boat toppled over and Andrews fell to one side and she fell to the other. And then Louisa was the one that saved her. So Andrews stated that she felt so guilty about this for years and years. So, and then she actually threw up on Louisa too. So, Maria never uses the captain's first name of George in this movie. Instead, she calls him Captain, Sir, and Darling. I noticed this when I was watching it, but when Maria is running through the courtyard to the Von Trapp house and I Have Confidence, she trips. This was an accident. However, producer director Robert Wise liked it so much that he kept it in the movie. He felt it added the nervousness of the song and of the characters. So
the anxiety and all that.
How funny.
The actors and actresses had to be continually hosed down while filming the scene after they had fallen out of the boat in order to remain dripping wet.
Oh, how uncomfortable. Jeez.
Another thing I noticed in that scene too, they immediately go back to the house and then like 5 minutes goes by and then they've already changed their uniforms and are singing.
Yes.
To the ladies. Well, they did not have time to get ready for that at all.
Oh, that's movie magic.
And their hair is dry.
Movie magic.
Their hair is dry, yeah.
It's like, wow, these are quick changes.
When setting up for filming of the wedding scene, there was nobody at the altar to wed them while they reached the top of the stairs to the sanctuary. Someone had forgotten to summon the actor playing the bishop. According to Julie Andrews, the real Archbishop of Salzburg at that time, Andreas Rohracher, is seen in the movie. The gazebo changes size, becomes larger when we go inside of it. This was intentional because the real gazebo on the property where they filmed the scenes was at the back of the house was too small for the dance numbers. So they built an interior gazebo in a Hollywood studio that was significantly larger. Christopher Plummer really disliked this movie. He was known to refer to it as The Sound of Mucus or S&M. And here you go. And he likened working with Julie Andrews to being hit over the head with a big Valentine's Day card every day.
I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult.
But nonetheless, they became pretty close friends until his death. So he claimed that his cynicism probably helped his performance in this movie with keeping it from being too sentimental. So I just like the fact that he said, "Yeah, beat her over the head with a big Valentine's Day card every."
I feel like that has to be some morbid sense of humor he had, I guess.
Kyle, if you were somebody in this movie, I think you would be this next person because during the musical competition at the end of the movie, Fraulein Schweiger, the third place winner, bowed 16 times.
Yeah.
I get all the credit. Exactly. No, you're right. You're right. I'm that character. Absolutely.
Yeah. American Film Institute in 2007 ranked this as the number 40 greatest movie of all time. Christopher Plummer learned to play guitar for his part. So did Julie Andrews. But the guitar, like his vocals, were redubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said this when she slipped and fell on that. Liesl said when she slipped and fell, 16 going on 17. In early edition of the movies, the bandage covering the ankle is visible. When the movie was remastered for the DVD, the images of this bandage were digitally removed. On the commentary of the 40th anniversary edition DVD in 2005, Charmaine said that because of this, some people do not believe that what she says she was danced on an injured ankle. So what they can do these days by taking stuff out of movies is amazing.
Yeah.
Frame by frame, all the data, stuff like that. No movie will be real in 20 years. It'll be great. It's all digital imagery.
Through this movie, though this movie is virtually unknown in Austria due to the intentional popularity, you can visit the places where filming took place with a special tour. Furthermore, in many hotels in Salzburg, this movie is played nonstop on televisions for the tourists. The soundtrack album of this movie, the RCA Victor from 1965, is one of the best-selling soundtracks of all time. Around 11 million copies sold worldwide and has never, ever been out of print.
Yeah. Jimbo, I don't know if actually you got the chance to go see the bonus featurettes on the Voodoo page, but actually there's a 50-minute documentary called the Sound of Music, The Sound of the City. Julia Andrews returns to Salzburg, where she actually goes through the entire real life tour of each physical location itself.
Bro,
wow!
Sign me up. Let's go. Sign me up. If Julia Andrews is there,
Julia Andrews hosts all.
I'd love to meet her, man. I know her from Mary Poppins. Kyle, you know her from The Princess Diaries. Okay.
Yes. Good movie.
No, actually, it's Shrek 2. That's the real.
That too.
I need to hear a performance. It's legendary.
I found this interesting too. So when the Best Picture Oscar went to this movie on April 18, 1966, it was the first time the Academy Awards had ever been broadcast in color.
Oh wow!
Yep, I thought that was cool.
Paradigm shift.
That's interesting.
The organ passages in the underscore were performed by jazz organist Buddy Cole, who sadly suffered a fatal heart attack just one day after his final recording sessions were completed.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. Christopher Plummer was not fond of the song Edelweiss, which he considered trite, and wrote a letter to screenwriter Ernest Leham suggesting a new song should be written to replace it, but he was rebuffed.
Good.
Christopher Plummer also admitted that he ate and drank heavily during filming to drown out his unhappiness with making this movie, and found plenty of opportunities to do both in Austria. His costume eventually had to be refitted for his extra weight. Julie Andrews sang Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious to the children in the cast to entertain them between shooting. Since Mary Poppins hadn't yet been released, they just thought she made up the song for them. Oh, I love her. Christopher Plummer admits on the DVD commentary that he was drunk during the shooting of the music festival sequence. Oh, that's the famous marionette puppet sequence. You remember the puppets that they put on for the Lonely Goat Herd was produced and performed by the leading puppeteers of that day, Bill Baird and Cora Baird, or Baird, Baird. So they got the most famous puppeteers, I guess they could.
Okay, that's the song. Okay.
There's some incredible models, and I just love the one with the cheeks that expand in and out. I don't know.
I know.
It's insane to look at, though.
This is credited as the movie that saved 20th Century Fox after the debacle of Cleopatra. Every year, the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles, California, hosts an annual Sound of Music sing-along where the song lyrics are shown underneath the screen. The actors and actresses who played the Von Trapp children and the real Von Trapp children often make appearances at what has consistently been a sold-out event. Now, sadly, cool. I don't know if there's any real Von Trapp.
There's grandchildren.
Do what?
There's only one, Johan, the son. He's only living child left. And there's some grandchildren and great-grandchildren.
Yeah. Robert Wise didn't get along with the real Maria Von Trapp when she came to the set, calling her bossy.
Yeah, she's bossy.
Mia Farrow screen tested for the part of Liesl.
She did. I can tell you the other ones who did, too.
I got them here, too.
Okay.
Hey, somewhere. I got a bunch. I mean, this list just goes on and on. Actresses considered for the part of Maria were Shirley Jones, Anne Bancroft, and Leslie Caron. Amongst the actors considered for the part of Captain Von Trapp were Bing Crosby and Walter Matthau. I know Kyle is a big Matthau fan.
Yeah.
The shooting in Salzburg lasted 3 months. The movie employed 4,500 extras.
That last scene, that makes sense. Yeah.
This movie's status as the most successful movie musical was surpassed 13 years later by what musical in the box office?
Oh gosh.
Later.
It was Grease.
The one I
right, but this movie remained the most successful movie musical when adjusted for inflation. So, this movie's success encouraged 20th Century Fox to invest in a string of costly musicals. Cristine, tell me if you've seen any of these. Dr. Dolittle.
No.
Star. And Hello, Dolly. I think I've seen Dolly, but none of them turned out to be big hits.
Yeah, I don't even own any of those. I'm looking right now.
While filming in Nürnberg Abbey in Salzburg, the women in the cast and crew wore skirts, not trousers, so as not to offend the resident nuns. 20th Century Fox paid over $1 million for the rights to this movie, a huge amount of money at the time, and a very high price for a studio still reeling for the massive cost of Cleopatra. Fred Astaire was considered for the role of Max. Can you imagine Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby in this? That would have just been crazy.
Powerhouse performance then. Yeah.
Kyle, this is Seth MacFarlane's favorite film, and he often spoofs it in The Family Guy.
I was going to bring that up later, but I wouldn't be surprised if you could actually recreate the entire movie just with Family Guy clips at this point, because I know that was kind of the thing of this film, is the cultural osmosis that kind of carried through, Simpsons and Family Guy and many other shows have been parodying it for so long that I feel like you just have the entire film parodying itself by many other stations. It's kind of insane.
Kyle, when this movie was first released on home video, it stayed on the charts for over 250 weeks, almost 5 years.
That's incredible.
The production was surpassed to discover that Salzburg had the world's 7th highest average rainfall. Many alternative locations had to be sourced, as exterior filming was often impossible due to the downpours. After the Von Trapps fled Austria, their home was taken over by Heinrich Himmler, one of the key players of the Nazi Party. Adolf Hitler personally visited Himmler there several times. So that's the Von Trapp family. Yeah. The day after the Von Trapp family left, the real family left by train to Italy, not trekking over the mountains to Switzerland as this movie depicts. Adolf Hitler ordered the borders of Austria to be shut, so they barely got out.
Yes, I have that in my facts.
Maria's wedding gown train was 14 feet long. 14 feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Other actresses for part of Liza were Geraldine Chaplin, Patty Duke, and Sharon Tate. Kyle, you know who Sharon Tate was?
Yeah, of course. Sharon Tate.
Yeah. That was awful. What happened to her?
You know what she did? Or Kyle, you know what? That's the one Charles Manson gang murdered.
Yeah. She was in one vampire comedy.
The Tate LaBianca murders. Yeah.
That terrible death that kind of changed all history.
Even though it is only briefly sung by Julie Andrews, she stated that Edelweiss is her favorite song from this movie.
Oh, no.
Production designer Boris Levin's design for the living room of the Benedict Ranch home Rieta in Giant was used again as the grand entry for the Von Trapp family home. Giant, of course, we covered on this podcast, is a James Dean movie. Both use the same split staircase proportion, scale, and mezzanine hallways. However, the color scheme, details, and decorations were different for each movie, so I thought that was cool that they reused it. Yeah. This is one of 3 movies to be the first released on VHS tape in 1977, along with Patton and MASH, the movie.
Wow. Okay. That's
the year I was born.
So so third and it was the third movie to release on VHS, and so it was also the best movie to release on VHS of those 3.
Probably, yes. Charmaine Carr was only 13 years younger than Christopher Plummer, who portrayed her father. The relative closeness in age made the actress and actors attracted to each other, though they said nothing happened beyond innocent flirting. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
That means everything happened besides
They'll never tell.
During the party sequence, Captain Von Trapp is wearing a white Knight's Cross medal. The real captain was awarded the order for becoming the dread of the Adriatic, especially after sinking 13 ships as a submarine commander during World War I.
Yeah, he was very decorated.
Christopher Plummer admitted that he found Dame Julie Andrews insufferable and annoying during filming, referring to her as Miss Disney to other cast and crew. Later, he made it to being immature in his feelings and that Andrews was a great actress who behaved like a true professional. The two were good friends. As Cristine said, Christopher Plummer's singing was dubbed by Bill Lee of the singing group The Mellowmen. Charmaine Carr's high notes were dubbed by her sister Darlene. When Herr Zeller is welcomed to the party by Captain Von Trapp in the hallway, he looks with disdain at the Austrian flag hanging from the balcony. He then speaks with another guest who is wearing glasses and who's obviously a Nazi sympathizer, as Herr Zeller comments to him that Captain Von Trapp is the only one in the district not flying the flag of the Third Reich. Perhaps a coincidence, but the man in the glasses bears a striking resemblance to Dr. Arthur Seyss-Inquart, the Australian Judas who helped betray his country to the Nazis and who was hanged 7 years later in Nuremberg.
Yes.
Yeah. During the scene where Maria mistakes Franz the butler as Captain Von Trapp, actually occurred in real life, according to the real Maria Von Trapp. This is one of 11 American musicals to win Best Picture. The others are The Broadway Melody, The Great Ziegfeld, Going My Way, An American in Paris, Gigi or Gigi, whatever you want to call it, West Side Story, My Fair Lady, Oliver, Amadeus, and Chicago. Christopher Plummer accidentally said the word captain to Julie Andrews during the argument scene. Despite the error, producer-director Robert Weiss thought it was amusing and liked it so much he kept it in the movie. In real life, George Von Trapp's second daughter was named Maria. She was the last surviving member of his immediate family, dying on February 18, 2014, at the age of 99. Wow.
I was amazed by that last fact because it feels like so instrumental to the film. Him getting flustered and calling her captain, then going to that Fräulein is such a moment of revealing character of how, like, they even like foreshadow it early in the film when he says he's running his home like it's a ship,
Right.
And then having that moment happen where he realized he's slipping up himself. It was such a key moment of him changing right there. It's astounding that was by mistake, by accident.
Friedrich was supposed to be a blonde, but Nicholas Hammond was a brunette, so Robert Wise ordered that the young actor be bleached. The process was intense for Hammond, and his hair wound up falling out in patches during the bleaching.
Oh.
This left bald spots on his head here and there, and which is why he is wearing a Tyrolean traditional alpine hat for most of the Do Re Mi number. This is Roger and Hammerstein's last musical. Oscar Hammerstein had already been diagnosed with cancer when he and Richard Rodgers began working on a new musical based on Maria Von Trapp's memoirs. Ronald Reagan was a huge fan of this movie. So are Jimmy Fallon and Rosie O'Donnell.
Millions of other Americans and people around the world. Yeah.
Maria actually did not teach the children how to sing, not all by herself anyway. They were actually coached in 4-part harmonies, mostly by Father Franz Wasner, who was a young priest who came to the Von Trapp villa. Julie Andrews was screenwriter Ernest Liam's first choice, but 20th Century Fox was less enthused and suggested Doris Day, Leslie Cannon, Grace Kelly, and Anne Bancroft to play opposite Bing Crosby. Also, Terry Garr auditioned for Liesel too. That's crazy. You know who Terry Garr is, right? Kyle?
Off the top of my head.
She's in Young Frankenstein. What Knockers?
Oh, that girl. Oh, wow. Okay.
That girl. Yeah, she was in Mr. Mom. She's been a lot of stuff.
Good for
her. Let's see here. Heather Menzies, Louisa, admitted to having a crush on Nicholas Hammond Friedrich. Friedrich had a crush on Liesel. Liesel had a crush on Captain Von Trapp, and Plummer, who at first hated Julie Andrews, wound up having a crush on her too. So going up the line. The sad part about this is the Von Trapps never saw much of huge profits from this movie being made. Maria sold the movie rights to the German producers and inadvertently signed away her rights in the process.
Yeah.
The resulting movies, The Trapp Family in 1956 and the sequel, The Trapp Family in America, were quite successful. The American rights were bought from the German producers, so they didn't see much of that money at all, or if any of it. That's sad.
Nope, they did not.
All too common.
This movie can be seen as the beginning of a trend in movies called nunsploitation. Movies that came out mostly in Europe in the 60s and 70s, usually about nuns in convent facing some sort of crisis of faith. The 1969 Elvis Presley and Mary Tyler Moore rom-com Change of Habit is an example of this, of nunsploitation. So is the Shirley MacLaine and Clint Eastwood Western Two Mules for Sister Sarah. So is Sister Act. So is Nuns on the Run. And so is Nasty Habits. So
what about The Flying Nun?
Well, was it really a nunsploitation? She was still in the convent, though, wasn't she? Let's see here.
I think it was like Nuns with Guns released just a couple years ago, and I got to pull that now.
It's sad though. They didn't even invite the real Maria von Trapp to the premiere of the movie. They said that they didn't have any seats for her. But I guess that's because she got into it with the producer. Yeah. So what happened is Julie Andrews actually brought her onto a television special of hers, where she teaches Julie Andrews how to yodel, and it's on YouTube. So, Carrie Underwood, Florence Henderson, Stephen Moyer, Mary Martin, Julie Andrews, Shirley Jones, Christina Aguilera, and Marie Osmond were all in the Broadway productions of The Sound of Music at one point or another. The Trapp Family Austrian Relief, Inc. is an organization co-created by Maria and George von Trapp after the war, which has helped thousands of Austrians and war victims since its founding. If you factor in inflation, this is still one of the most popular movies all time, closely trailing behind Gone with the Wind in 1939. Julie Andrews performed Lonely Goatherd and most of her other hits from this movie on The Muppet Show in 1976. Huge Muppet fan here. Critics also often complained that Rodgers and Hammerstein were ripping off The Sound of Music from The King and I, as they took the true story of the Von Trapps and just adding, copying, or embellishing plot points from The King and I. So they also complained, the Von Trapps complained that the film made George be like an unbearable monster at the beginning of the story, when in fact he wasn't like that at all. They said he was actually a kind man.
Yes.
According to a recent interview on Good Morning Australia in 1993, with the Cartwright sisters, Veronica and Angela, Veronica Cartwright, who was not in this movie but watched Robert Wise and the crew film this scene from the sidelines, said the producers gave the kids in the cast brandy after they fell in the lake during the canoe scene because they kept having to refilm it over and over again, and they were trying to warm the kids up. I don't think we were supposed to know that, laughed the interviewer. Angela said that there was also leeches in the pond.
Oh, God.
Ooh, can you imagine? There's an urban myth.
Prevent hypothermia at the very least.
Right. There is an urban myth that the kids in this movie were all dubbed during the musical scenes. Angela Cartwright has said in interviews this is patently false, and that part of the reason they were chosen was because of their singing ability, and they did all their own singing, although the singing was augmented by a professional children's chorus, she admits. The times when the kid actors and actresses soloed, though, they were singing all by themselves, and that was their real voices. The mansion scene in this film belonged to Hedy Lamarr. The scene where Maria uses the curtains to make play clothes for the kids was ripped off with Gone with the Wind. When Scarlett uses the drapes to make the dress. The song Idlewise from this musical is used as the theme song for cable television series The Man in the High Castle, about an alternate history where the Nazis conquered the United States. Hohenfern Castle in Wiefen, Austria, seen in this film, was also used in Where Eagles Dare. Christopher Plummer has softened his criticism of this film over the decades, stating that he has come to respect the picture's place in history and its great affection from audience. However, he maintains that he doesn't much care for this movie, and the role of Captain Von Trapp was the most difficult of his career due to his dislike of cinema and working with children. And said he was also greatly frustrated being typecast as Von Trapp in the years following, which made it hard to regain his status as a character actor. Let's see here. The real Maria, long a widow by the time of filming, complimented Christopher Plummer that he was much more handsome than her husband was. Oh, man. Let's see here. Christopher Plummer, Eleanor Parker, Anna Lee, and director Robert Weiss all died at the age of 91.
91.
Yep. Julie Andrews was set to film The Sound of Music with her hair at least longish with its color her own natural brown. However, an attempt to give her golden highlights left Andrews with a bright orange mop, and a damage control haircut resulted in the strawberry blonde pixie cut Andrews would sport in the film. Subsequent to The Sound of Music, wearing her hair short would be Julie Andrews' trademark look. In August of 1966, The Sound of Music surpassed Gone with the Wind as the all-time box office champ. While Gone with the Wind has certainly been successful in its original release, the film's all-time box office total was a 26-year tally, which The Sound of Music beat in only 18 months, despite having reached only a small percentage of the screens on which it would appear worldwide.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Peggy Woods, Mother Abyss Singing, was dubbed by Margaret McKay. A South Korean theater owner thought the movie was too long, so he had the projectionist edit out all the singing numbers.
Oh, that's horrible. That's what makes the movie.
Can you just see her running up the top of the hill? Sound of Music.
Oh, you can't do that.
The best.
I know why.
All the movies he ever cuts now. Just
Yeah.
It's got too many monsters in it. Just cut out all the scenes with the monsters. Let's just have the talking dialogue going. It'd be good. I want to see all his movies now.
Edelweiss, which Captain Von Trapp sings to his children again at the Salzburg Music Festival, was written by Rodgers and Hammerstein II in New York just before the play opened on Broadway. Theodore Bikel debuted the song in his role as captain in 1959. Bikel later recalled being met after a performance by a woman who told him how much she loved the song, but that she only knew it in the original German. Funny, because the song never existed until Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote it. So, in the closing shot, when the family is climbing over the hills to safety, it's not really Carath as Gretel on the shoulders of Captain Von Trapp. In the DVD version, it is revealed that while in Austria, Kim Carath gained a lot of weight. This was one of the last shots filmed, and so she was evidently a bit too heavy to be carried on Christopher Plummer's back. Plummer requested a stunt double, and that is being carried on his back.
Stunt child.
Sounds like a few of them gained weight.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, he's the one that had to have his outfit refitted, remember, because he ate.
Yeah. That shaming. Jeez.
When Maria and Captain are at the gazebo, Julie Andrews couldn't stop laughing due to the powerful overhead carbon arc Klieg lightnings that were lights that were making, in her words, a raspberry sound every time she leaned in to kiss Plummer. After more than 20 takes, the scene was altered to silhouette the two to hide Andrews' giggles. And last but not least, in the source play, Rolf discovers Von Trapp's hiding in the Abbey Cemetery, but calls out to his commander that there is no one here, allowing the family to escape and keeping the promise he made to Liesel in the song 16 going on 17 to take care of her. So, Cristine, did you have any more information about the real Von Trapps before we end this?
I do. You ready?
Go for it.
Okay. So in real life, Maria actually came to the family just to tutor Maria because she was recovering from scarlet fever. So she didn't go as a governess for all the children, just for Maria. And Maria and George actually got married 11 years before the family left Austria, not right before. So they were married for quite some time before they left. And Maria actually didn't marry George because she was in love with him. He proposed to her, but she was actually in love with the children. So she actually married him because she loved the children, not necessarily him. But she was advised by the nuns at the Abbey to marry him because it was quote unquote God's will. So she ended up falling in love with him though. And let's see if I can find her quote. She said she learned to love him like she had never loved before and would never love again. So I thought that was kind of sweet. And there were actually, here we go. She learned to love him more than I have ever before or after. And there were actually 10 children, not 7. When she first came to him, there were 7 children, but then after they got married, they had 3 more. And the names, ages, and sexes were changed for the movie. And as you said earlier, Jim, they didn't escape over a mountain, but actually traveled by train from Italy. And then I think they went to London and then to America.
And I was reading that if they would have kept going over that mountain where they would have ended up in Germany.
In Nazi territory.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That would have been funny. The whole movie and Hitler's just standing there like
they would ended up in Nazi territory.
Right.
So and it wasn't a secret. They told everybody they were leaving. Yeah.
All died.
And
wow.
And their music director was actually their family priest, and he was their music director for over 20 years. And the real Maria wasn't all sweet and light like the Julie Andrews character. She was actually prone to angry outbursts and fits of rage. Like she would just get into outbursts where there'd be yelling and slamming of doors and throwing things. In a 2003 interview, the younger Maria confirmed that her mom had a terrible temper, but said that it would pass like a thunderstorm and that everything would be all right, and that she was actually a loving and caring person. And that in reality, like you said earlier, the father, George, was actually a gentle, warm, caring person who loved musical activities with his family. And it actually distressed the family that he was portrayed as a, cold, detached patriarch in the movie. They didn't like that. And his first wife actually died of scarlet fever in 1922. And so that's why he was widowed. And Maria was born in 1905, and she was orphaned as a young child. And she was raised as an atheist and socialist by an abusive relative. Maybe that's why she was prone to angry outbursts. I don't know. But in college, who knows? In college, she accidentally attended a Palm Sunday service, and she had a religious awakening. And so after college, that's when she entered the Benedictine Abbey of Nuremberg in Salzburg as a novice. And so that's how she ended up at the Abbey, and that's how she came to tutor Maria von Trapp. And that's, how the whole thing started. So, and the family lost much of its wealth during the worldwide depression of the 1930s when their bank failed. And so to save money, Maria actually fired most of the staff, and they tightened their belts. And that's when they began singing as a career. And they actually won first place. So, like in the movie, they won first place in that music festival. They actually did win first place in the 1936 music festival, and they started becoming successful. And then the Nazis annexed Austria in 1938. And George really was against the Nazis, and he refused to fly the Nazi flag, and he declined the naval command and request to sing at Hitler's birthday party. So that's when they were like, "We have got to get out of here." And that's when they boarded the train and left, and they left behind everything. And they eventually settled in Stowe, Vermont, and they bought a farm, and they ran a music camp when they weren't on tour. And they eventually stopped touring, I think, in the mid-50s. And George died in 1947, and he's buried at the family cemetery. And Maria is also buried at the family cemetery. And most of them applied for citizenship, and they got it. Maria and the stepdaughters. And the two sons got citizenship because they were in World War II. Now they served in World War II, and that's how they got a citizenship. Oh, I have here they stopped touring in 1955. And I said most of the children passed away except for the oldest son, Joe Hans. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. But the Trapp Family Lodge is still operational. It's still out there. Yeah, so you can still go to it. And let's see. Here I have a list of the children, what they're doing or what they did. Rupert was a medical doctor. Agatha was a kindergarten teacher. Maria was a missionary in New Guinea for 30 years. Werner was a farmer. Hedwig taught music. Johann married and eventually moved back to Austria. Johanna. Martina married and died in childbirth. I think she was 30 when she died in childbirth. Rosemary and Eleanor both settled in Vermont. Johanna was the girl. Johannes is the boy, and he manages the Trapp Family Lodge. Maria died in 1987 and was buried alongside George and Martina. And you mentioned this, Jim. The Von Trapps never saw much of the huge profits from the movie. She sold her rights to German producers and inadvertently signed away her rights in the process. Yeah. So let's see. I also had something about George. He was born in 1880, died in 1947. He was an officer in the Austrian-Hungarian Navy. He commanded submarines in World War I, and with valor, and received the title of Ritter, which is Knight and later Baron, as a reward for his heroic accomplishments. And he was born in Zara, Croatia. So that's what I've got.
Okay.
Excellent.
A lot there.
So, Cristine, we'll start with you. What is your thoughts and feelings on this movie?
Every time I see it, I just love it. I think it's very uplifting. I love the music. And I think overall it's just a great movie. I give it like a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this film is kind of a historical masterpiece in many ways. It's not like a film that like I'm like, oh man, I really enjoy this a whole lot. For me, it's like personally probably around the 7 or 8 out of 10 for me. But in terms of its historical significance and what it's meant to so many people, it's a 10 out of 10 for film literacy and film history in my mind. And I think that's totally deserved. I think this is a it rides the fine line between fantasy and reality, being based on a true story, but also having these fictitious moments of like really going above and beyond and how romantic and fantastical it all is, and how everything kind of works out for the family at the relatively well, anyways, in terms of everyone being happy by the time they're done. But still, it's an incredible film, and I really enjoyed it a whole lot. So I think it's a 10 out of 10, and historically wise. Jimbo, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I've seen a lot of the Rodgers and I've seen a lot of the Roger and Hammerstein's films. And like I said, I guess maybe because you see it spoofed so much and you only caught bits and pieces of it. But where Cristine said that it was a happy, feel good movie, to me, it was kind of the opposite towards the end of the movie, where the Germans are coming over and trying to they basically had to leave everything behind.
Yeah.
So to me, that kind of made me angry. Not at the family, but I mean, just because of the situation that they were put in to do that, going back to when the Germans and all that invaded and wanted to, unionize with Austria and all that. So for me, it's probably a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed some of the musical scores, as we talked about, but when you realize that it's based on a true story and that this actually did happen to a family, it makes it all that more real.
Yeah,
sure, they changed some of the stuff around, you know what I mean? But that's the way it was back then. And it's sad to say, you know what I mean? But when people get into power that can make those kind of decisions and they make the wrong decisions, and it affects a whole lot of people.
It sure does.
So, I would say probably 7 out of 10. It'd be a 10 out of 10 just for Julie Andrews if I was basing it on my feelings, because I love her. So yeah, that's it. So if you want to follow us on the social medias, we are the Tragedy of Cinema Podcast on Facebook, TikTok. You can email us at the Tragedy of Cinema at gmail.com. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, as Cristine did tonight, just hit us up with that and what movie you'd like to do. We'd be more than happy to schedule a time to have you on. Cristine, thanks for coming on and thanks for suggesting this movie. It was a pleasure to have you on the podcast once again. You are, I believe, our first 2-time guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
What an honor.
Yeah. So you are now the first person to ever co-host twice. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I've truly enjoyed it.
Do you have anything else to say, Cristine?
No, it's been great. I said when I saw this movie, I thought, this will be a great one to do. I know how much you love Julie Andrews, and
it's true story.
Just be a blast. Yeah.
Kyle, you have anything else?
Nope. I think we're good.
All right. Well, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap. Kyle?
And cut. Don't have a clapper.
Don't have a clapper. So just say cut, Christina. We'll cut it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Later.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.